Wow, I was very encouraged today by listening to Nick Fuentes' article about, I think it's about the National Jewish Conference, calling him a Nazi or something. But what I was encouraged by was the fact that he uh, realizes, as I do, that we need a new political party and that the populists on the left and the right have so much agreement about what needs to be done. We need a national health care program that moves the healthcare system out of the profit margin and subject to investments. In other words, if you invest in a company and it successfully in an insurance company and it successfully denies service to its clients, then it will make a profit. That's why Luigi killed the president of the head of the insurance company last year or the year before, whenever it was. Um, and we need to close the borders and make sure that Americans get those jobs. We make sure that if there are jobs that Americans quote don't want to work, that the jobs increase their safety, increase uh, their healthy conditions, increase their pay to the point where Americans can work those jobs. Because the argument seems to be, especially with AI that I've noticed, is yeah, well, the reason that we need to import cheap labor is because Americans won't take the job. Well, that's absolutely not true. But I'm not going to get into arguing the policy right now. I'm just telling you, I believe it's coming together. I believe that the left and the right, which I hate to say it, but I'm not a member of either party, either tribe. I'm a free thinking human being. I read a lot. Look at all my books. Um, anyway, and I believe that America needs a new political party. If the Democrats get back in this next term election that's coming up, they'll do exactly what they've always done. They've always promised, oh, they're going to make a change. You remember Obama came in, he was going to change everything, and oh, it was hope and all of that stuff from Clinton. And then all they did was benefit their constituents, which are the donors, and they left everybody out in the cold with a lot of lame ass excuses about why they didn't get shit done. And Republicans get back in and they create another war with somebody because the Israelis have them, by the nose, in the nose ring nose. Be careful of young women with nose rings. Older women too, but man, I'm telling you out there, be careful of women with nose rings. Just say no to nose rings, will you? Stay away from women like that. It's a flag. You're going to do much better. Um, and also stay away from women that are independent and don't need no man. Because as soon as you say something wrong, you're going to end up in jail for who knows what reason. Anyway, back to my point. There's enough populism on the left and the right. They're all the Bernie people, and almost all of them are good people. They're not all fucking weirdos and going off the deep end about, having gay bathrooms for, uh, you know, uh, people who cut their dicks off and all that shit. You remember when Warren attacked Bernie Sanders on stage, and he was so stunned by her accusation that he hated women or told told women that they could never be president, which is of course really astounding. And I remember when the Democrats stole the primaries from Bernie and ran first Biden, Sleepy Joe, and then ended up running Harris, which nobody wanted. What did she get? Like 1% in the debates at the time, back in whenever it was. They ran her anyway. And the Republicans who are been taken over by Trump has been taken over by the neocons again. The people who went to war with Iraq when the Saudis actually did most of the destruction of American buildings with their aircraft that flew into buildings. And now we're fighting the enemies that we used to be our friends, and we're friends with our people that used to be our enemies. We need to end all that. We need to go back to America first. I think it's really encouraging, speaking again of what I was talking about initially, which is I'm really encouraged that Fuentes is on board with this. I don't know if he's the right spokesman from it because he does have a past that's shaded, even though he was a kid at the time. He got burnt by, what's his name? Benny Shapiro, that guy, and his horrible neo-Nazi Institute. Anyway, I'm very encouraged. I want Candace to keep it up with her investigations of what happened to Charlie Kirk. I didn't agree with everything he said, but he had a lot of good things to say. I don't agree with everything anybody says because I'm my own man. I hope I am anyway. I find out what people say. I check it and check it and check it and verify the truth of it. And please, for God's sakes, don't believe your AI. If your AI says something about, well, generally this, or this is complex, or some people believe this, ask it where it's getting its information from. It'll usually apologize to you. But I found out with all AIs, the function of the AI is not to essentially eliminate jobs. The function of AI is going to be exactly what the function of what the media is right now, which is to manufacture consent, as Noam Chomsky said many, many years ago. And if you haven't read his book, read his book. So there are people on the left and the right that I totally agree with, totally support. I think we should free Snowden. I think, as somebody said, it was not a crime for people to do bad things in the CIA or law enforcement or the Army or the Navy or the Marines or the Air Force or the United States government. It's not bad for them to do, it's not wrong for them to do bad things. It's wrong for people like Snowden to tell on them. That's what's wrong. Anyway, I know I'm going off the deep end here, but I'm really excited about this proposal. I think people listen to Nick a lot, which is a great thing because he was defunded, he was dehumaned by the internets back a few years ago, and you still can't get around the fact that a lot of the AIs still tell you he's nothing but a white supremacist and a Holocaust denier, and I don't think he's any of those things. I think he's a kid. I think he's got great ideas, and I think he's helping us work our way through these lion sacks of shit who benefit from all the division in the country. That's exactly what their function is. The media's function is not to wield any kind of representative influence over politics. It is there to make sure that we stay divided from each other. Working, educated or not, working people who are around should learn what we need to do, and that is get rid of these two fucking parties and create a new one. If we put the Democrats back in power, they'll do exactly what they've always done. I remember in 2006 when they got into power. And then Obama got in power in 2008 and he didn't put any of the bankers in jail. I remember when the Republicans got back in power and they didn't do jack shit for anybody. And they had a lot of excuses. Then they call people who want Medicare for all, they call them communists. When people object to unregulated capitalism, they call them socialists. So it goes back and forth. Think freely. Think things through yourself. Don't listen to Hillary or Billary or Nod or Pod or whoever it is out there. Don't even listen to Joe Rogan. He's softballing things more these days than he used to because he's not as naive as he used to be. But get out there. Listen to Tucker Carlson. He just did some great stuff on, the old theme, which is what America means to him. And those are great themes. They're wonderful themes. They're part of who we are. And I like the guy a lot. I think I can trust him a lot more than I used to when he was advocating for the war in Iraq, when W and Cheney were around. Did he die? I think he did. I think the air cleared up a little bit. The sun came out. At least that was my impression. But in any case, they will be dead soon. All of those folks that got us into that war will be dead soon. I among them, and I didn't help get us into the war. I kind of objected. My jaw dropped when I found out that Colin Powell of the Powell Doctrine, which is Don't get involved in foreign wars unless you know what the mission and the goal is. And we had no mission and we had no goal in Iraq other than regime change. I don't know what happened to that guy. I weep for him. He should have been a Democrat anyway, because the Republicans are never going to have a guy like him as their leader. Luckily for the Republicans, though, at the time, I won't get into all that. I'm going to just leave it at that. Welcome to a new party, I hope. I think it should be called America First Party. I think that clears all the definitions you need to know. And I think there are enough of us on the left and enough of us on the right, which I am a member of both of those groups, that we can make it happen. And God damn it, it'll be about time. And just be careful of divisiveness. Don't let them do what they did to the Tea Party. They corrupted the Tea Party. Don't let them do what they did to Bernie Sanders' campaign and his people. They corrupted them, and AOC corrupted her. You look at her, what she used to be. Even though, and I believed a lot of her lies initially. I was so excited to see her overthrow an incumbent and then just basically take over and be exactly that same person, working for Nancy Pelosi and the Nancy Pelosi Stock and Investment Company for America. Because as she says, it's a free market, even for people like her who get early warning of what exact legislation they're going to pass that'll benefit this company or that company. So anyway, I'm not going to get into all that again. Welcome to Real World. Please back this idea for a new party, and for God's sakes, don't let it be compromised by the Tea Party Christian right, who foolishly fell into the gimmick with the neocons, or the Bernie Sanders neo-left people who stay away from the neo-conservatives and stay away from the neoliberals. Neither one of them benefit you as a citizen. You're working a lot harder, man. I'm old, so I got money, I got comfort, I got all the things that I need in life. But I was able to buy a house when I was 27 years old. I hear it's 40 now that you have to be the average age for somebody to buy a house. And I wasn't particularly rich or anything. I just kind of knew what I was doing. And my grandkids are not going to have that ability unless we change this country. We are the richest, wealthiest, most brilliant nation that has ever existed. And our people deserve to be taken care of by us. And let's tax the rich a little bit. Let's tax their corporations a little bit. Let's not give the bankers bonuses after they steal people blind and foreclose on 6 million homes and destroy the lives of countless. I don't know how many people is that if the average family is 4. What is that? 25, 24 million people being their lives completely changed by the bankers in New York City and Washington, D.C. Let's wake up. Let's stop fighting over who gets to burn the flag, or who gets the gay bathroom, or who gets to wear a dress, or who gets to cut their dick off. Let's leave all of that out of the equations. Let's go after the issues. And the issues are money and power. That's what it's about. Think about it. Stop playing games with your politics. You're not there to legislate morality on either side of the aisle, whether it's DEI or Jesus. If people want to come to Jesus, let them. If they want to leave him alone, let them. That's their thing. It's not politics. It's got nothing to do with it. All right? Now go out there and help give the good fight. Pressure Tucker to pressure others. Let's join the marching and chowder society of free-thinking, non-tribal Americans. Okay? Good luck. I will speak again soon. Not that anybody's particularly paying any attention to what I'm doing, but I feel real good about what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Bye.